So good afternoon once again. My name is Ankit Goenka and I head customer experience for Bajaj Allianz General Insurance Company. I'm extremely excited to be the chair for this extremely wonderful panel, and I thank each one of them to that they have taken out this precious time of theirs and come here to enlighten us. I'll not bore you guys with my global gyan because this is their show. So I'll quickly get on, getting their brains to tickle and let us enlighten with their thoughts. Let me first trouble you, Sobitu. And I have some cheats notes, so don't mind that.
I'll just give a brief background of mine. I am a chemical engineer and graduate from IIM Kolkata with 30 years of experience in FMCG. 10 years was out of ITC and last 20 years is with ITC. I help from the FMCG, that is the personal care business for ITC, which I think is touching the life of all of us in some way or the other through the Fiamas and the Vivels. See, when we look at ITC as a company, it's a more than 100-year-old company with a huge database, knowledge, and intrinsic knowledge system which is existing within the system. But when we look out to the newer businesses where we have diversified, that is the foods and the personal care, we are new entrants in the field. Foods is around 30 years old and personal care is around 12 years old. So initially, it started with the people coming in from the tobacco businesses and studying of the business, and we were so-called called the laterals. We came from different industries, and it's like different cultures coming into and getting amalgamated into the ocean of ITC, which is a culture. First thing was, all of us thought that what we have done throughout our life in our different organizations is the best thing which we are doing. And I'm talking of say 2008-9 when we are starting off, 4 or 5 different people from different MNCs and big companies thinking that this is the best thing along with an ITC culture. So ultimately it took us almost a decade and 2 or 4 company units to come up to build up a sort of a unique culture for the personal care, which is taking the good things from our ITC own businesses and from the industries. And for employee engagement part of it, I can say when it is an evolved organization, anything which is top down faces some sort of an hindrance. Even, I just can take an example, even if a policeman stops us and asks us questions, we get irritated. So within the organization, what we try to do within ITC is that we don't look at it as a policing from the quality point of view. So we have done away with any functional quality department. It is the line people who are managing the quality. That is the ownership which we have brought in. Second thing is that what cannot be measured and made conscious in terms of cost cannot be monitored. So we try to bring in the digitization to real-time monitoring the issues and the cost implications. That has helped the people to understand what we are sending out to the market. And third one, and it started around say 7 years back with the IPL being the raging thing, we called it a quality Premier League. Okay. So that is something which is income across the division for 8 months running, and it also not only the people that are involved, they run it, the families are also involved, and they take part in these different events and all, and it creates some sort of a peer pressure among the people when they see that the husbands are getting recognized. उसका husband recognized, तुमने क्या किया, तुम्हारा next Kaizen किया है. So I will not drag it furthermore. So this is a learning journey, learning curve for us. We are still a young organization within ITC. We are still learning the thread and trying to improve and find our way through. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Sudhita. I really like that quality Premier League. I'm going to copy that. Let me come to Manojji. Sumita talked about the way he and his organizations are actually sailed through this. According to you, what could be the specific psychological or maybe a systemic barriers which you have seen in your field?
Let me start this conversation with a question to audience. How many of you work for quality? Please raise your hands. So I don't see all the hands are raised. Why so? We don't understand the quality as philosophy. or it is an individualized concept that I work for production, I work for engineering. Is it so? No. So quality per se, it's everybody's responsibility, and according to me, manufacturing or the doer is the flagship bearer of quality, basically. So, as you rightly asked, what are the kind of restrictions or barriers, basically, or what restrict people to not to follow the rules, basically? So let me share a story with you. Long back, somewhere in 2014 or 15, I remember a kind of news in Times of India. There was an accident. A part towards the belly of an aircraft fallen off during the takeoff. Now the investigation happened, and the operator found guilty. That then he was questioned. He said that I used lesser number of screws because those were available with me. So, say for example, the part is supposed to be fitted using 10 screw. He was made available or it available with only 6. So he fitted with that 6 and he left the 4 port blank. Now what behavior is this? Is this quality? So what will you say? This is called as bias for action. And there is a good book also you can go through. So we all have our biases. So basically there are then theories on biases like types of biases, cognitive, social, emotional. And the emotional bias is more important for us while we work, because that is triggered by some incident or something which either you are not inclined towards, right? So the first and foremost restriction or the barrier is the bias, and that's why as a professional we have to teach ourselves to work like Bhagwan Sri Krishna said in Gita, Karmanya Vadikaraste ma phaleshu kadachana, right? So let's go further then. Now this example which I shared was a grassroots level example where the operator made a mistake, maybe purposefully or accidental. You all know about few incident happened with the Lion Airlines and Ethiopian Airlines, where hundreds of people died actually in that plane crash, and the Boeing 737 Max was involved in those crash. Then after inquiry was set, all the Boeing were grounded. So what happened actually? What Boeing did to face the competition, the market competition from Airbus towards carrying more number of passengers in a single flying, they modified their engines, which then impacted their maneuvering capabilities. Now they have to do some kind of kappa. So they installed some kind of devices, but purposefully they didn't declare. They concealed the information from everyone. Why? To avoid the gap or the delay to the market because of the time they need to spend on training. Because as per the authorities, they have to train every pilot or every airline about the new devices, new things, and then they would be able to market the product. So to avoid the gap, they concealed the information, and there is a good documentary available on Netflix. I don't remember the exact name. Downfall, the Boeing case. Please watch it. It's a very nice documentary. Now this bias again is because of early to the market kind of emotion or to meet the competition. So bias always plays a role where we need to really control. Now when we go in the process, we have 5 variables: man, machine, method, then material and man. So man is the kind of input which controls everything. We have specifications for everything else. We have specification for man also. But with the behavioral pattern, with the thought processes which we have, we always maneuver. Now let me share one example here. Why training to the men is really important. 1971 war. Many of you may remember. We fought with a machine called NAT, and against which it was Saberjet. So if you compare the fight, it was not equal. So what was the differentiating factor for this, or determining factor? It was training only. Though the machines were old, the pilots were knowing the machines well. It was like a muscle memory. And for Pakistani pilots, the machines were new. So they were not trained. Most of their attacks were not precise. So inadequate training and inadequate practices further. When you go in, once you complete your training, you go into the practice, you carry the same burden or carry the same flaw. And then your operations are impacted, the process is impacted. So this is something I will take it further. Now third factor, which is redundancy in the process. Again, I would like to share one example which I faced personally. I was in a bank and I was supposed to complete the KYC. I did everything, I submitted all the documentation, and once the process was complete, I was asked to withdraw some money from my account. So being a quality person, I asked why I should do so. Because I did my process complete, all the authenticated document I have submitted. So why you want me to withdraw? Because there was a huge queue. And if I had to stand again in the queue, it was really a terrible thing. So I checked with them, they said, we don't know. It's a process. So I went to manager.
Kind of slaves to the process.
Yes. So I went to the manager. I asked that please tell me the significance of this process. I will do it. But he said, sir, I don't know. But you have to do it. Otherwise, we will not approve your KYC. So
otherwise, the audit will come and ask a lot of questions. Why haven't you done this?
So ultimately,
Quality professionals.
Quality professionals.
you said it. So ultimately, you have to obey the rule or the law.
Yeah.
Because you are helpless as a customer. So I went back, I did all the process, I withdrew some money, it's done. So what happens but, if the redundancy, if it propagates, then it becomes a system and it is really very difficult to eradicate. Or again, people mindsets are set then with that process. So retraining or redeveloping the kind of mindset which you need to develop quality culture is very difficult. I think these are the three parameters which I see as a kind of hurdle or barrier to implementation of any quality culture or.
Yeah. So thanks, Manoj, and as you were saying, few thoughts came to my mind, and that let me ask you a follow-up question actually, to the thoughts that you shared, and let's talk some ground reality. Okay? If you could share with all of us, any story, any example, where you've actually done something in your organization which has led the employees to move from being a passive compliance to actually participating in the entire quality improvement.
Yes, thank you for asking this question because it is very important. So you believe that means you proclaim or you say that you are leader. So every leader has to have follower. So to have followers, basically you have to imbibe your ideology, isn't it? And what is the best platform? Induction training.
Mm-hmm.
I have not missed. I was site quality lead. Many people will say that I am kind of in a position, I am a head, why should I spend time on induction training and so. But I have made it a practice. I have attended each and every induction training. I have not failed a single. Unless I am on leave. But then the charge is given to someone else. And whatever we have discussed here, I used to tell the stories from the war because they don't have incentive. Any soldier, they don't have incentive. Their incentive come back in body bags only. Right? So you have to motivate people that what is your karma. When you come here as a professional, what you need to deliver. And again, Bhagavad Gita has everything. So it used to be a good session to motivate them. And secondarily, once you tell them what to do, you also need to follow the same as a leader. So walk the talk. So that is a very much important thing. So these are the kind of superficial thing which you preach actually. But as a leader, what I believe is you really need to understand the pain points of your colleagues or your counterparts. You have to go in the process. You have to go to shop floor, meet people. What are their hurdles? I will tell you one example. I belong to pharmaceutical industry, so this example may not relate, but you will understand what I mean to say. So every day morning, there is a ritual. Now we have a lot of balances because we have to weigh everything which we put into the process. So there are a lot of balances on the floor, and the person at the start of the first shift also has to go in every compartment and calibrate the balance. Now, how the calibration has to be done? So if the balance is having capacity of say 100 kg, then there are 5-point calibration saying say 1 kg, 10 kg, 50 kg, 80 kg and then 100 kg. So if the balance is having 1000 kg, so it has to carry, the person has to carry a lot of weights together on trolley. So you can imagine the time spent and the efforts spent in this process. So by the time he finishes the calibration, you are not able to start the process. Now when I was taking around, somebody told me, sir, this is, ये बहुत time जाता है इसमें, what should we do? Can you help us? So then we worked on this. Acha, everybody knows how the balance works, right? The principle of balance, there are sensors. So what we did is, we connected with these vendors, then wo principle, everything we collected, we put it in some nice theory, and we came to a conclusion saying that a balance, when it is in good shape, it will give reading with accuracy even with the minimum weight. So we fixed a minimum weight for each and every balance. So say for example 1 gram or 1 kg it can be. So now the person has to carry only 1 kg. So every day he will go around, he will not do the 5-point calibration, he will do the calibration using only one weight, and end of the month we will run the entire calibration or for the range. So that's how we manipulated the process. But that gave a lot of comfort. Now when you do this is a very small kind of contribution, but people gain confidence that there are people, there is help available, and they open up, they come to you with the problems. Because see, being in quality, I have a superficial monitoring, a supervising kind of, I give quality system, then I supervise the in-process control and all. But unless the person tells me the problem, the pain point, you really not able to find out the cure. So these are some reflections, the way I worked.
So thanks for that, and I just pick one thing from what you said. You talked about at the beginning, leadership is all about walk the talk, right? And specifically to our topic of employee engagement, right? Let me take your views on, maybe if you can share a story where a leadership intervention in the employee engagement arena has actually helped employees get motivated and go for that political.
Okay, so let me brief first about my organization. I'm working with RPG Life Sciences, and it is a conglomerate. So we have various businesses. Like we have CEAT Tires, we have Zensar Technology, we have KEC Infrastructure, we have RECEM who supports KEC for different products, and we have HML. HML is Harrison Malayalam, who is a tea and coffee producer. And as an organization, we have leadership meet every month. So in one of the leadership meet, we found that it is very common that people don't take initiative for compliances. So how you can handle this situation? What is most important as a leader? For me, I must know my leading indicator and lagging indicators for the system. And why people are afraid of filing the quality system documents? Maybe they feel that if I file a document, somebody will question me. So in my organization where we are working, it's a life science company. We do manufacture medicines and we are into the specialty medicine business. We manufacture immunosuppressants, which is used after transplantation, kidney transplantation, heart transplantation. So I think similar case which is happening in C8, which is happening in Zensar, it is happening with me also. Because my CFT team members, they are not filing QMS document when the incident happens. So as a leader, I have taken a chance. I said, whenever I will go on the plant round, if I observe any non-compliance, I will file document immediately on the spot. And I started doing that. I did that for 3 days, and to my surprise, automatically people started following this. Because now they said, if my quality head, global quality head is coming to the plant, and for plant deviation, anything happen in the plant, he is filing deviation, it is our responsibility. Subsequently, then we decided to have quality championship award in the plants, which has worked out very well. And to the surprise, a security supervisor has filed around 13 deviations, which is against the supply documents received from vendor. And this is, I can think, if you lead or if you set the example for them, they will automatically follow the same thing. I think every leader has to do some kind of activity, which Manoj has also supported, that whenever you go, you are going on the shop floor, you have to lead with the example. I remember my days in the Reliance. I was working with Reliance earlier, and it's also pharmaceutical company. Engineering has created an excellent plant, and plant was not getting into the operation because of one issue, that they used to found black particles in the purified waters. And purified water having a black particle is a critical observation for pharmaceutical industry, because same purified water is used for the sterile water which goes into the injectables. So plant was almost ready, everything was done, but because of this one single issue, people have not started operation in the plant, and every day we are losing around 15-20 lakh rupees only on the operations. So I joined Reliance, and after 2 months, when I had a meeting with our CEO, he said, Milind, this is the pain point I have. From validation team, I am not getting a support to identify this issue. So I said, let me look into the aspect of this issue. When I discussed with the engineering person, engineering head said, this is a problem I am facing at 3 places. So I said, okay, let us go to the 3 places where you have the problem. And to the surprise, I asked him, can I open the line, water carrying line, which was validated for slope and everything. It's a big challenge. So once you open the line, it will get what you call as a disqualified. You have to do the qualification again. So he said, anyway, we are not using it, so we can open it. So we opened the line, and we found that instead of silicone gasket in the clamp, the person has used the neoprene gasket, which is a black in color. And with the hot water passing through it, it started eroding. And a small particle generated out of that. So unless and until, as a leader, you don't involve yourself into the activity, you don't involve yourself into the process and understand the process and then take the decisions. That helps for the quality improvement also, that helps for the process improvement also, or simplification of process also.
I agree with you, and with that, Dr. Sneha, your experience around the same.
Yeah. So I would like to give a brief about me. I am from healthcare sector. So I am a clinician, and then I'm working as an ergonomic advisors for all corporate offices for designing their workstations as per the ergonomic standards. And currently I'm working as a head of the quality with Helios. So basically Helios is a home care setup where we are exclusively working with the physiotherapy services, including all verticals, from sports, antenatal, postnatal, ortho, everything. So basically the roadblock, as my experts already mentioned about, that there is an engagement issue which happens. And many a times quality is not that segment which is fit for all. Every person who is entering into the quality team has some perks and has some lacunas where as a quality leader we need to work. So what I have added into it, that we started working with the HR department and doing a persona analysis when we are hiring any employee in our company. So once we get the categorization of persona, and then we are categorizing them in different sectors as per their speciality. Because in healthcare, there are two domains which we feel is matching the persona of the patient and the therapist or a consultant. Many a times there is a mismatch of expertise, and then we lack, and then there are convergence issues. So as earlier panelist also said, the sustainability in the healthcare is the big question for us. So we have created that one layer where we are working with HR. The second layer we have worked with the patient conversion engagement model. So basically in India, the biggest challenge which we are getting is the conversions of the patient, because there are lots of options are available in the market and it's a huge competition at a lower cost. So staying in the premium category or staying into a moderate category is a challenge for us. So as I have worked with the US Healthcare prior and Canadian US Healthcare both together, I have created a patient engagement conversion model specifically applicable for Indian population. And that's how I would like to tell that with this model, the perk went from almost 15 to 20 degrees of conversion rate, which was the highest in 16 years of company's journey. So this was the third, and the third is the categorization of queries. In quality, escalation comes. Once escalation comes, there is always a delay in the action because of resource lack, or maybe there are point-to-point contacts are lacking somewhere.
Right.
So for escalation matters, we have created a QRT, which is a quick response team, on board, off-site, on-site and virtual. So these are the four segments which we are working, and they all are interlinked. So whenever escalation comes, it's handled within, and the operational time is only 15 minutes. So within 15 minutes, the operational query, financial query and patient-related queries have been resolved, so that the patient conversions and patient satisfaction is remained. So these three major differences I have created in our organization, and along with this, the third is I have made the whole ecosystem as a proactive system rather being a reactive. Usually we tend to give them SOPs, we tend to give them a compliance regulations, you have to follow this. But I think if an employee is felt that okay, I am being heard for my suggestions, then the proactiveness comes along with it. So the whole ecosystem is being proactive rather than reactive. Thank you.
Thanks, Dr. Sneha. And you talked about escalations, right?
Yeah.
And when we talk about customer escalations, the way I look at it, it's a gold mine,
Correct.
right? Because there's a lot of insights that you can gather from the voice of the customer. Now, on one side, you have the voice of the customer. On the other side, you have the, if I can call it, as voice of the process. Now, when you concatenate these two, there could be further insights that comes out, right? Now, how do you really motivate the employees to actually look at that? Is there a framework that is there in your mind that kinds of pushes, the employees to actually look at both of these together and then, go ahead and take those decisions?
Okay, for this, I have created an I harmony model. Again, I harmony itself says that I am being involved. So the QRT team and my employee and the quality team has one junction where all categorization and all queries are coming together.
Right.
And within 15 minutes, the I harmony model is being regulated. It includes 3 steps. One, I always say it's a triage. So edge is nothing but the assessment with generalized specified evaluation. And I train all quality employee and all consultant who all are there on my panel with such a model where they are able to take a quick clinical decision along with the operational decisions. Because escalation comes, that time we have a bifurcation of quality and operations, and then the whole the transmission takes good amount of time from the operational team to quality team or vice versa. So rather keeping two segments different, I have created a middle term known as a iHarmony team, where everything is getting tackled there and there within 15 minutes.
Great.
Thank
Benji,
you.
your or Sunita, if you can touch
Yeah.
this.
Just it's a little bit of an experiential thing which I want to share after hearing from Manoj, Dr. Sneha and Milen about how do you make people spontaneously involved for betterment of quality. So initially when I took over, I'm from the manufacturing field and I went into the quality. So always I was looking at the machines and all, and a lot of managerial jargons, cost of poor quality and all. I was in one of my factories, I was talking to the staff about cost of poor quality, and then there was a wall. People were looking at me, what is he talking about? And then it suddenly struck me, how can I demonstrate this thing? So I said, okay guys, let's do one thing. Let's walk into the scrapyard and let's weigh the things, and then let's segregate it. And once we did that, we said that which is coming from what. So what are the top three things? Then the people along with me also, oh, my God, we have generated this, and if this has gone to the market, this is the amount of revenue which is lost. And believe it or not, that factory pioneered and cascading it to the other factories, that the production manager and the quality manager for the unit every day morning, along with the lead operators, go around, go to the scrapyard, check these things out, take the top three issues and handle it. And that has really helped us to bring down the cost of poor quality. And it has happened within the units through healthy competition and not by any top-down approach for minimizing it.
Sure, thanks. Benji, your thoughts.
So what we do in our cases, we have officially framework for customer satisfaction survey, which carries out at different level, including retail chemists, doctors, my CNFA agents, distributors, and we took feedback from them. And based on the feedback, this we carry once in 2 years, and based on the feedback, we look into the gap analysis, the data generated out of customer satisfaction survey, and where we have to work.
Right.
So for me, leading indicator is my product meets with the compliances, doctors are happy with the product, patients are safe, so that is the leading indicator. At the same time, I am having lagging indicator, market complaint, lot of market complaint receiving from the distributor, patient. So in that case, I have to look into the market complaint and how we can bridge the gap. And whenever I am talking about the data generated out of that and the gap analysis, my corrective action has to be permanent. There cannot be a quick fix. So we do that every 2 years for the outside customers. Though we cannot reach to the patient, but we try to get some feedback from the patients, because we are into the immunosuppression business and patient on the same medicine for years together, maybe 10 years, 5 years, 8 years after their transplantation. So we ask doctor that some of their critical patients we can take the feedback from them. At the same time, for the internal customers, we carry out survey called as a happiness. And I am very proud that RPG Life Science is the only pharmaceutical company where happiness is an official initiative.
Okay.
It is on our agenda, and that happiness includes everything. It is a patient happiness, customer happiness, our internal customer happiness, and my business partners, those who are in the European market, those who are in the Latin market or other market, for them also we are running some kind of surveys. And when we do the happiness survey, internationally it is said that if you have score more than 75, you can consider you are a good company. So my recent score is 89. This year score is 89, and we started this 4-5 years back when initial score was around 80, and now we have reached to 89. So my internal customers, like for quality, production is an internal customer, for production, marketing is an internal customer. So it is totally based on the questions which is derived by one company who carries out this survey.
Yeah.
There are 100 questions, and based on the outcome, again there is a what you call is a gap analysis done on that also, with the help of HR and other team, because most of the people has a dissatisfaction with the facilities provided within the factory. So we try to improve on that also, so that my internal customers are also become more happy. And basically from the customer surveys, what we came to know is the data which is generated up till now, it has helped us a lot. My market complaint when I took the charge of the company was around 100 or 120. Now it has come down to 12 last year. And this has, because it is only one thing, that is customer survey. Because that has given us a lot of input. Like one case I will like to give example here. Some of the product was going to the Canada through sea shipment. So I got a complaint that when product reaches Canada, all the shippers are stinking. Product was not bad, but shippers are stinking. Shipper means outer box,
Yeah.
corrugated box. So when we talked to the manufacturer, got into the root cause analysis, we came to know the glue which is used for the pasting of corrugated box, it is not fungal free. And because it is a sea shipment, humidity is more, there's some kind of fungus growth happens on the outer side of the box, and that gives bad smell. Immediate action taken, all these boxes replaced with the laminated boxes.
Yeah.
Customer satisfaction 100%, no complaint after that. Of course, it comes with the few cost, few rupees more, but ultimately customer satisfaction is more important for us.
No, I completely agree with you, and the points that you mentioned, no, that the example that you gave about that entire, just a simple solution, changing the box type. Now a human only thought about it, the employee only thought about that solution. Right? So typically, we say that your employee experience is equal to your employee or your customer experience, right? Because if your employee is happy, he or she will make sure that he makes the customer also happy. Right, and just to share an example within our organization, we run a program called Celebrating You. This is for the employees, by the employees, right? And these are basically 4 pillars, right? So the first pillar basically is called as Fun Do, right? As the name suggests, it's all about fun. It's all about having fun at the office, enjoying your various festivals, right? Enjoying wins if there is a project which has been completed, enjoying, and celebrating around that. The second pillar is about connect, right? Now this connect basically ensures that you're not only connecting with the employee, but with the families as well, right? So we have programs where we actually connect with the families. We call the families to office, do the family day and all. Because, as one of you was saying, right, the family should get into it, right, in terms of having a competition. So when the family is there in office, they actually look at, my husband, my son, my sister, my bhabhi, where they work, right? So it's that connect. The third pillar is about enhance, which is nothing but, we call it the training and development, put onto that. Now this is not only about that you train the employee only on the skills that you need for the job, right, or the quality parameters, but you actually upskill, right? You actually get that employee to do some other stuff, right? So we run a program under this called a project economy, where we say that there would be some sponsors and mentors, which are senior management people, right? And then we take nominations from the employees for a particular project. Now this project is specifically outside their domain, right? So if somebody is part of, let's say operations, something to do with underwriting will come into the play, right? So you need to work beyond, your comfort zone, and that's the training and development that we kind of drive with. And finally, the fourth pillar is about nourish, which is about healthy living, right? So for example, we do yoga sessions, laughter yoga in the office, right? Or yoga sessions with the family, early in the morning, late in the evening, you kind of do an online session where you have a yoga guru and then everybody come together and perform the yoga, right? So this is one of the ways there we have kind of seen that, we are driving the employee engagement, and our customer satisfaction scores for that example have actually shown us that yes, this is in the right direction. Because today, if we look at, for example, our grievances, right, we are the least in the entire general insurance domain. We have the least grievances with the highest net promoter score. So that kind of gives us that comfort that yes, employees are kind of happy. And you talked about the employee happiness score, right? For us, there is an employee engagement score, which is at an upwards of around 96%, right? So that gives us that comfort that yes, we are in the right direction, but yes, there are many things to do. Now with that, let me, copy what you did, sir, rapid fire, right? While my question is only one, and I don't need an answer in yes or no, right? But maybe a word or maximum a sentence, okay? If given a chance, what is that one cultural change you would do in your organization, or you want to suggest, which it could be a thing which you've already implemented, so now you're suggesting that you would do, which will drive this entire employee engagement, which is leading to a high quality?
So currently we are doing quality month every year between 10th November to 10th December. I would like to extend it to quality year,
Okay.
not a month. I would like to extend it
It's
to
a
quality year.
continuous
So every day, all time readiness.
Absolutely. Thanks.
For us, we have started something called market visit for the employees.
Okay.
So I want to extend it and cover more people, so they go meet the real customers in the market and understand about their product. That is, I think, the best thing which can happen as an exposure to the people and know about their own products.
I completely agree with you, and just to share an example, our CEO, Mr. Tapal Singh here, he does not believe in PPT reviews at all. He says that the review would happen in the market. You go and meet the customers, your review is done. Your customers will tell you, the market will tell you where you are going right, where you are not going right. Sitting in a boardroom, looking at a PPT, if somebody is very good in presentation, he will just sail through, right? Even if the numbers are not that great or there is something else to it. But the market won't lie. So I completely agree. Getting the employees to actually go out in the market and feel the thing which is there right there.
Culture of acceptance first.
Okay.
And shared responsibility. So for this, I have created, everyone knows about design thinking.
Yeah.
Everyone done has the workshop. But we have modulated design thinking in such a way that it should be a culture of acceptance where my employee is suggesting operational changes, finance related changes, quality changes and checkpoint changes. So these are the 4 domains where I have worked, and you won't believe the way they have given me a suggestion, and the enthusiasm they have shown was on another level. And after that, the whole ecosystem become a proactive. What I said, it is not reactive now, it's proactive. Yeah.
Thanks.
Basically, one thing I would like to change, quality is not onus or responsibility of only QA department. Everybody. But on the lighter side, I said it. But yes, as you were also mentioning that process mapping, very, very important. If you want to deliver a quality product, then you have to really drive the process right from the design stage, as you said, to the deliver stage. So if you do that process mapping well, everything goes well.
No, I completely agree with you, and just to add to whatever you guys have mentioned, in our organization we basically run an alert culture, okay, where we say that somebody who's going to be raising the highest number of alerts, right, obviously gets something, right. So the whole idea is that you get the employees to tell you what is not going right, rather than somebody from the, as you mentioned, the QA department coming, or the internal audit coming, or the regulator coming, or even the customer coming and telling you that hey, this process is not working right. Because your employees are the best people who can actually tell you what is going right or not, right? And there you open it as an alert culture where you tell these employees that hey, it's okay to make mistakes, right? If you don't make mistakes, you'll not learn, right? But don't hide those mistakes. So,
okay, typically quality guys are always a policeman. Okay, I always
considered to be policemen.
Yeah, one second. Okay, we need to have in a soccer. You have 3 roles apart from players.
Right.
One is a lineman, referee, and as well as coach. if they are able to play this role very well.
You know, in both the panel discussions, previous and this one thing which has come out excellent is on the field reviews, not in the cabin reviews, whether it's in terms of PPT or a boardroom. So that's an excellent step. But you know, two things what you have talked about is, which is very, very healthy, is happiness and health.
Correct.
You know, for the employees to get more efficiencies. My question to you is, if you are getting happiness as 89%, how does it convert into retention of employees for a longer time?
Okay, good question. What happens? People happiness is related with the three things. One is the facilities you provide, the what you call it as a balance between the job and family time, and third is their salary or the remuneration what you provide. So most of the people work for two things. One is a family time or job, balance between both, and the facility which is provided by the company. In my case, I am seeing that leaving people for the salary are hardly 2%. If somebody is really dissatisfied with his manager role or he is not getting any opportunity to grow, only in that case people are leaving. Otherwise, this is actually helping us to bridging the gap between what is people's expectation and what we do as a management. And I can tell you, my all managers, they are with me. I joined this company 6.5 years back. They are with company for 15 years, 18 years. So this is what actually plays a role when we talk about the employee happiness.
I agree, and just to give one more example, and in case you guys are aware about a call center industry, right? In call center, typically the attrition rates are on an upwards of 30-odd%, right? Because you know at that level,
Even in IT industry.
even in IT industry, right? But call center specifically because you know at that level these guys are not looking at a career. You know, perhaps they have joined a call center to buy you know a Jordan shoe, right? So they're going to be working for maybe 6 months, you know, save some money. You know, they have the money to go and now buy a Jordan, they'll just leave, right? Now, when I also spoke about the employee engagement score on upwards of 96%, our contact center attrition is less than 3%. Right? It's just because of that, right? That people are being able to now look at a career as well. They're not looking at call center as a you know stopgap arrangement. That I don't have you know that myth in the market that if people do not have anything to do, they will go and join a call center. No. Call center itself can actually give you an excel. I myself, you know, 22 years back, I was a call center associate. Right? I started my career with that. So I'm a strong believer, you know, that you know, if you give the right things, the right path to your employees, you engage with them, you know, they'll excel, they'll make sure that your customers are happy, they'll make sure you know, the quality scores and everything is absolutely watertight.
Ownership comes.
Absolutely, that's an auto
Just,
byproduct in a way.
just to add on to this thing, I'm saying how not to lose. I'm taking it the other way around. It's not the salary which binds a person to an individual to a company. It's an overall culture of the company, how the company is caring about you, and the way you are being treated within the company. How is the enrichment of experience happening? How is the overall experience? That counts.
I have a question.
So maybe perhaps you can take the last question.
So
Okay.
there has been a talk on AI adoption, tech adoption in quality overall, you know, process as an organization. I think it's just the tech counterparts who've spoken that yeah, we're working fantabulously well. It's somehow you know penetrating into the typical industries. As you folks come from typical manufacturing companies, I would want to know your feedback or your first-hand experience in terms of adoption of technology in managing your quality QA QC both functions, as in like has it replaced the typical processes yet, or is it are there tools that you're using, and how open are organizations in terms of adopting technological interventions in terms of managing quality better?
See, when we look at an insurance company, because I come from an insurance company, right, we adopted this entire AI, Gen AI or any other new technology at a very large scale, right? Because we don't believe in our organization to do it for hobbies or the boardrooms. We believe that if you can scale, then only go ahead and implement, right? So for us, AI is everywhere, right? It's a democratized process that we have, embarked in our organization. For example, each and every employee has the access to what we call it as a Magic GPT, which is our own, workbench, which we have given it open to each and every employee to go out and experiment.
Has the process evolved over
It has evolved, and like, in the previous panel, they were talking about, or perhaps you only talked about, it enhances,
Yeah.
right? And our belief is it's not about that AI or technology will replace humans, right? It is about that the human who's not able to use or embrace AI or technology will definitely get replaced by somebody else, another human, right? That's the whole thing, yeah. So you have to upskill, you have to understand that thing, and that's why,
That's happening on the ground.
that's happening, and that's where we gave our Magic GPT bench.
Upskilling and de-skilling.
Upskilling.
Yeah, you have to unlearn to, unlearn to learn in a way, right?
So for us in pharma, it's inevitable.
It's
Inevitable.
very right.
Because the processes have variables. So if you want to control the variables, you need to introduce the AI, which will reduce the error. Basically simple, the artwork which we have, so the carton or the labeling which we do. So it is very difficult to identify some errors which are not really relevant. So AI can do so in a quick time.
Yeah.
Similar happen tablet defects. So if I have to see the each and every tablet, it is time consuming. Human eye will tire, so after some time I have to replace. So that's again a tedious process.
Yes.
So if I have a machine, it can check from both sides.
So
Very
the
easy.
last decade, over the last 5 years, since this entire LLMs and foundation models have come up, what has been the change in typical process versus tech adoption? If you could just
See, it's a machine replacing human, where the task or the process is tedious or time consuming. So
Basically, the processes of the packing line, where the tablet gets packed into the blisters or strips and then it is manually packing, that everything has become automated.
I would say where
and
there is
not
no
only
value add.
manufacturing,
Lot of human
You kind of get the machine to
working
do
on
it,
the
no?
line.
yeah.
and not only manufacturing, in testing also. Like microbial enumeration, it takes almost 7 days.
In production also, I think carrying out simulations.
Absolutely.
and
To add,
Yeah,
Testing
yeah.
part of it, using average testing methods which we are taking care is 36 hours. It's maybe now coming down to 5 minutes.
Yes.
And to the extent a truck driver or a warehouse operator can do that. This is the amount of de-skilling and turnaround
So
time.
one question to him, that's he has interestingly highlighted one point that is called NPS, Net Promoter Score.
Yeah.
As the Net Promoter Scores goes high, your business growth. Can you highlight slightly more elaborate?
It does. We have actually done an internal study.
What is this NPS?
Yeah, we have actually done an internal study within our organization where we have seen a correlation, a direct correlation of, the business profitability to this NPS. And just to share some numbers, if we put together last 10 years, total profit of the GI industry, if let's say that's 100 rupees, Magic share is 72 rupees. Right? And our NPS is the highest. For example, for our health business, our NPS is 78, wherein the market average is around 47. Right? So that also shows, because when we talk about the profitability, out of 100 rupees for the entire industry, 72 belongs to us.
Please elaborate slightly how to create NPS.
Okay, so NPS basically is a golden question that you ask your customers, that how likely are you to, promote or recommend our brand to your family or friends at a scale of 0 to 10, right? Somebody who's scoring us up to 6 is a detractor, 7 or 8 is a passive customer, 9 or 10 is a promoter. Now, out of the total number of customers that you get in each of these 3 buckets, you subtract promoters and detractors, and that gives you the net promoter score.
Ideally, what is the best and
See the benchmark which we have seen as per our benchmarking, the highest has gone for Netflix, which is 96.
average?
Average is 50s, no, actually not 70s also. 50s to 60s. If you have a 50-60, it's a very, very healthy score.
Yes.
But maybe we are talking about FMCG or this service industry. I don't know services.
See, service industry, again, it's going to be lower. We talk about the BFSI, again it's lower.
Thank you, esteemed panelists. Please give them a round of applause.